Joining us on the show once again today, a returning champion, of course, to this podcast, someone who guided her team back to the Sweet 16 with a 4-3 victory over Vanderbilt this past weekend. Welcome back onto the show, UCLA women's tennis head coach Stella Sampras Webster. Coach, it is always good to see you. Welcome back to the program. How are you and the Bruins feeling as you get ready for the Sweet 16?
I think everyone's excited. Everyone's excited to, get through, the round of 32 and to be in the Sweet 16 and have another opportunity to play a great team. Like everyone is so competitive, and the teams are, the matches are so close, and we're excited for the opportunity to play Texas A&M.
Yeah. Obviously, this is an experienced group that you have, a group that made the quarterfinals last year, a group that has had some pieces that have had to go on the road before in the NCAA tournament. How valuable was that experience preparing for last weekend? And, again, knowing that this group obviously wanted to be top 16, good enough to be top 16, even though they fell short there, how ready were they to go back on the road once again?
Well, our seniors have really stepped up. I mean, they're the ones who have really taken this team, on their shoulders and just led them to prepare the team for this weekend. Both Kimmy Hance and Elisa Waggle, they're our captains, and they prepared the girls, especially our two freshmen who have never played NCAAs. So I think that made a big difference, and just really, really thankful for the leadership that this team has. And it's been a really good month for our team. I think this whole April and then starting in May, I think we're playing our best tennis. So I think we're excited to just, again, have another opportunity to play. And I think our leaders are doing a great job.
Obviously, this team, you almost have two groups, right? The top of the lineup that has been around for a while, has experienced the highs and lows of college tennis, and then a bunch of freshmen or underclassmen in that bottom half of the lineup as well. And, again, what's it like when you have do you have to coach almost two different messages to two different groups? Like, what's it been like to balance those two things this year for you?
Well, yeah, it has been interesting. Our top three have been so solid, and they've really kind of kept us going this season. But I really believe our freshmen and Amani, they are getting some great experience. And, especially, what took place at Vanderbilt with Amani finishing that and clinching that for us. But both Kate and Olivia have done a great job of just like kind of staying and being competitive in every match that they're playing. And I can't say enough about their doubles as well. All three of them in our bottom half have given us, great opportunities to get that doubles point. They're such great players. So just kind of keeping everyone in check and continue the work and you just never know what's going to happen, and you just need players to kind of step up, and we're going to, have another chance on Friday.
Yeah, no, and it's going to be a fun one, certainly. And, again, knowing the different experiences of this group, I have to ask, now that it's in the rearview mirror, now that, of course, you have reached the Sweet 16, what was that San Diego State loss like? Like, when that happened to this group, and I know you were missing Elisa on that day, of course, and, it's a foundational piece to this season's success. But how does a loss like that help you guys as coaches, as you obviously were ready to go on a run like you have here to reach the Sweet 16?
Yeah, that was a tough time for our team. I took Elise out of the lineup. She was struggling a little bit. And I just had to give San Diego State some credit. I mean, they really came out, put a lot of pressure on us. And I think, we kind of, felt the pressure and didn't play as well as we needed to play to beat them. It was down to the last match, and 7-6 in the third. A lot of pressure, a lot of tension there. But it was hard. It was not easy. We really didn't know what to expect after that from this team. But we knew that we had pieces. We had the pieces in our with our team, and need to just get back to work and shared with the team like how long the season is, and we want to play our best at the end. So not to keep this, you know, keep this in their heads too long, flush it, but learn from it. And I have to say the team has grown a lot. They've come a long way since then, and I'm really proud of them for how they've just stuck with us, trusted the coaching staff, and they put in a lot of work. So we're really fortunate to be where we're at because of just you know having everyone pretty much healthy and like I said, playing our best tennis now.
Yeah, and certainly, again, fantastic performance last weekend, and yeah, it does feel like the level for this group has continued to rise. What was you talk about? Obviously, the wear and tear of a season. How was your first Big Ten schedule? How did this team? How do you feel like your team have handled all the travel, the approach to obviously seeing a bunch of new teams and a bunch of new environments? What was that experience like?
It was, a new experience,
Yeah.
even for the coaching staff. Like we didn't know what to expect. We've experienced it all together. New places, new towns, bus rides, things that we're just not very used to. But I think our team did an amazing job of just dealing with the adversity of like going from indoors to outdoors, the time change. And we're just we're happy that we had some good results during that season in the Big Ten. And we got through it, and I think it's going to get easier and easier, hopefully, as far as under like knowing what to expect in these towns, and even getting to know the players in the Big Ten. Well, I think getting a year under our belt will help us next year. But overall, great experiences as far as the coaches that are in the Big Ten, and the beautiful facilities that some of them have is just incredible. And getting to be in some towns that I'd never, would ever be able to go to. It's a new experience, and I think it was a good one. And we will be better prepared even more next year,
In terms of that
hopefully.
preparation, just looking at the schedule, you guys had a stretch to start Big Ten play in Eugene, in Seattle. Then you were two matches at home, Michigan, Michigan State. Then at Columbus and at College Station or State College in Pennsylvania. Um, I mean, talk about just six very, very different environments. Did you have to change any of the principles you were like? Is it as granular as, look, we're going to be playing more indoors, we got to be more aggressive? Is it as granular in that in the preparation for, just dare I say, a different style of tennis and conference play?
I do think so, in a way. I mean, we practiced, how we would if we were going to play indoors because of how quick the courts were going to be. We were fortunate in some of the places that we got to play some outdoor tennis, which was a big relief and was really nice for us. But it is a different style, a more aggressive style. But I feel like our team is an aggressive team. So it kind of helped us in a way because for doubles, everything is, we've got good doubles players. So they're used to big serves or being able to come forward. So I think our style of play benefited the indoor, but it's just a matter of some of these indoors can be super, super fast that we're not used to, and especially playing some doubles that are, can go by real quick if we're not ready. So it is different. And I think the girls, managed it well. Yeah, I'm glad we got through it and did well.
You guys obviously were able to play the conference tournament at the Ojai this year, able to keep
Mm-hmm.
something similar. But Big Ten tennis being introduced to, again, an event that is over a century old. For those that don't know the history, the Ojai event is one of those events. It should be on your bucket list as a tennis fan of something you have to attend just in your lifetime. Did it still have the magic, like introducing Big Ten tennis? What was it like to bring that to the Ojai this year?
I thought it was amazing. I mean, I think the Ojai people did an amazing job of making it special. I felt the specialness of it, just in the way they've introduced the teams, the music they were playing. It was like an event. So I hope that, the Big Ten coaches enjoyed it, the players enjoyed it. I certainly did. I think the atmosphere was really great. There was always fans watching, each match. And I think they've gained a lot of fans, from playing at Ojai. And so for us, I thought it was a great time, great event, good tennis. And they did a great job. And it was nice to play outdoor tennis, which was the biggest thing I think for us and why we were able to kind of have that venue for us. So overall, great experience for us.
What did Olivia and Kate complete the UCLA freshman ritual of finding a photo of you somewhere in the Ojai annals and
Oh.
records and being like, "Look, coach, it's you."
Yeah, well, there were a lot of pictures. I don't know. It's so hard to find. I'm sure they probably didn't even recognize me. But there were, they actually they didn't play Ojai in the juniors. They were all playing ITF, so it's so different. You know, when they're growing up. So, but I think they appreciated it. They appreciated all the pictures and looking back at all the teams and stuff. So I'm glad they got to experience it in college.
No, it's a very, very fun environment, and again, still on my list of places I need to attend at some point in my fandom lifetime. Obviously, I mentioned the two freshmen, the NCAA doubles finalists, of course, in Olivia and Kate. They are two parts of a doubles point that's been really good for you all this season. And yet, like, I was talking with one coach, and he explained a concept I'm paraphrasing, but mid March boredom, where it's just like, you know what, we've been together for a while. Why not switch things up to spice things up in doubles? Did that ever cross your mind? Or, again, what has allowed you to keep this sort of continuity success all season long?
Well, I did change the lineup at one point, and it didn't go our way. But I never thought about switching Olivia and Kate because they just know each other so well, and they've got just a way. They just know what each of them is going to do, and they're so good. So I never even thought about switching them, but I did switch the other four, and you know. They're a great team, just a great team, but they're learning a lot of college tennis in a 6 game set with no ad. It is not easy. You can't be ready. You don't have the opportunity to play a second set and get comfortable. It's like you've got to be ready to go. And I'm glad they're just having this experience and they're learning a lot. They're learning a lot this freshman year. College tennis is a totally new, different animal here. And especially the NCAA is such an exciting time. And, I think everyone's just, yeah, excited for the tournament. And, the freshmen are going to, they're going to learn from it either way.
I haven't gotten to be around those two a ton, but in my experience with them, there's an enthusiasm, like an exuberance, an energy, a youthful energy, dare I say, that just it's magnetic. Like, and I'm just curious because you know how long the season is. Like, is there ever a point where you got to tell them, like, trust me, it's February 9th. Like, you got to rein it in just a little bit, knowing I need this April 9th. I need this May 9th as well. How did you approach that with them, knowing you don't want to take away the thing that joy is what makes them special? But how
Mm-hmm.
did you go about discussing all those things with them this season?
Yeah, I mean, the coaching staff, the seniors, we all talked about it with them, but they love tennis.
Yeah.
They wanted to be out there, like any opportunity that they could hit individually or with each other or with, outside of team practice. They were out there. And I think that's why they're so great because they love the sport. They love being part of a team and they just really knew their role so well on this team. Everyone had so much fun, with them because they are fun, and they are just fun to be around, and they go back and forth with the seniors too. It's pretty funny how You know, they know their place, but they also can um, just give it to the seniors as well. They're great girls, great on the court, coaching them. They are just full of excitement and joy to play together. They're like best friends. And to be honest, we've had to separate them a lot of times, put them in separate cars because they always gravitate towards each other. So it's been really good for them just to be around the other girls and getting to know their teammates. So it's been a great year. I'm really so fortunate to have not only these two freshmen, but my whole team is like, they are just great people. It's been a fun season. And I'm really, happy that they have this next opportunity because they have worked really hard. And I love to see them just be able to enjoy another big win.
No, that's the best sort of freshman who can poke the buttons respectfully of the upperclassmen. I had the luxury of being able to do that on my high school team because my older brother was the older person and I knew how to poke his buttons when others wouldn't. And so,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you need that dynamic. And yeah, I could tell around this group they had that sort of fun. They were just having fun around that as well, certainly. And, again, um, obviously a big part of the success this year has been the progress made by AC at that top spot, and for her to be elevated to that position, 10-3 in dual match play
Mm-hmm.
at number one. What do you think fell into place that allowed her to have this sort of junior season?
I think it started during the summer. She made a big commitment this summer to really work on her game, work on her fitness. And, she just had a great fall as well, had opportunities to play some really high level, college players and had a lot of success. So she really started believing that she can play, um, you know, top of our lineup. And she really earned it from that fall, and really proud of her because her first second year were rough, and she went through that and she didn't want to have it again, and she just really made a big commitment to like really work on her game and stuff. So it's an amazing story because I never would have thought she would be our number one player, but just to see her heart and desire is like it's just amazing. So I think, I'm just so proud of her and what she's done. And it just goes to show hard work and heart and desire can take you a long way. And she's definitely earned that spot.
Yeah, again, 10-3 at the top spot this year. The numbers speak for themselves. Obviously, a lot of matches in an 18-8 season. I'm sure there are many that will come to mind here, but one of the things I wanted to ask every coach, is there one match in particular, as you think back at 2025 so far, your proudest moment of your team this season? Maybe it's because you learned the most about them, whatever it may be. Is there a match that comes to mind?
I mean, I would just say our SC match at home was a great one, just because we had lost to them. We've had a roller coaster year, and I think beating them at home, and I think that really gave up the team a lot of confidence because USC was they had beaten Texas, they've beaten a lot of great teams, they've had a great year, very competitive, and I think that match was the one that kind of sticks out to me right now, and just really proud of that moment.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the first coach who says the next one. Like someone's saying it of the 32, and so
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Right.
odds are on Howard Jaffe, but I guess we'll see as we move forward. What's one thing, if you could go back? Another thing I wanted to ask, just a fun one for you. If you could reallocate more time for one thing in practice for this group for the season, what might it have been?
For the season, I would say, um, are you talking on court or anywhere or
Well, that's
anything?
interesting because one coach said, I wish we had done even more together off the court. And it was like, because we have a
Yeah.
lot of fun when we do, and maybe I should have spent more time making sure there was opportunity for that. Like, take it any direction you'd like.
I would just say, um, Oh gosh, I'm terrible at this
There's
stuff.
also though a willingness to be like, no, I'm pretty happy. Like I feel like that's a good thing, by the way, if you're
You
struggling
know,
to answer
I
this
guess the
question.
only thing, I mean, I'm such a worker. Like I want to like get work done. I'm very efficient with time. Probably have a little more fun. Play more games. They loved it when we played games. And in my mind, I am always thinking of, being efficient with our time because obviously we don't have a ton of time. But that would be the one thing I think just playing a few more games. More competitions within the team, those type of things, maybe. Um, because we just didn't do much of it, much of it.
Yeah, no, it's because your team activity was, hey, bus ride from A to B, or hey, we got to get the
Right,
vans
right.
back to the airport. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Uh, just a few more here before I let you go. Obviously, this week, I know we're all focused on the Sweet 16, but the portal did open this week. I'm
Mm-hmm.
curious as that has become more normalized over the course of the last half decade. Has your approach to the portal changed at all?
Well, it's definitely on our minds, it just depends on the year. If we have open spots for next year or any of that, it's definitely a time where we're going to be looking at it and recruiting during the summer with it. So it's a date that we have, and yeah, it's definitely opened up things where you know if there's some experienced players out there that are good and it might be a good fit, we definitely will go for it, especially a lot of the junior players are maybe already committed and stuff. So there's not a big pool out there right now. So I think it could definitely help programs.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, again, everyone's monitoring it. How could you not? And I do feel like we're coming off of an off season where I got more text than anywhere. It's just like this number can't be true, is it? Or this player is receiving X amount, and again, 50% of it in one ear, out the other. But how much, when you are recruiting players, will they ask now about NIL? Has that become a normalized part of the recruiting conversation?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, not everyone. There's certain ones that have, and it's totally respectful. It's out there, and so they're looking for you know, the right fit. And sometimes the right fit is where finances could be, part of it. So, and others, maybe it's more the experience or the coaches or the location. So it's just now part of the recruiting process. So we expect it, and it's just part of it.
Yeah, no, I just
Mm-hmm.
again, it's I feel like there's so many changes on the horizon. Who knows what it's going to look like a year from now, but certainly it has become a more prevalent part of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I will ask you now to put on your pundit hat because I'll run you through the matchups other than yours this weekend, and if one comes out, obviously let it stick in your mind. Georgia Cal, Michigan Texas, Auburn Duke, Stanford Oklahoma State, UNC NC State, Virginia Tennessee, LSU Ohio State. If there was one match other than your own, you didn't have to focus on what you're up to this weekend. Which would you be most interested by and why?
Oh boy. Um,
A lot of good
um,
ones.
yeah, yeah. Um, I would say, uh, gosh, who's Stanford playing?
Stanford, Oklahoma State in Stillwater.
Oklahoma State.
Two unseeded
Inster.
teams in a super regional.
Yeah, I think that's the one. I mean, that's a huge opportunity for both programs.
Yeah.
Both programs had an up and down year, roller coaster, but it sounds like they're playing their best tennis right now. So I'd say that would be an interesting one.
I like that pick. Has the super regional grown on you? 5 years now with it. Have you grown accustomed to it?
Yeah, but I still wish that we had a final side of 16. So that's what I'm hoping for in the future, where we don't have individuals that will have a Sweet 16 together.
Yeah, it's again always fun. As many teams as possible. My last question for you, obviously, big one coming up here this weekend, Sweet 16 against Texas
Mhm.
A&M, a match Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Fans can enjoy. I'm curious what you view as their biggest strength and what it's going to take, obviously, for the Bruins to keep advancing in this postseason.
Well, I hear, I haven't been to Texas A&M since I don't know when they hosted NCAAs, but that was my last time and it was a long time ago. But I hear that it's tough to play there. The fans are brutal, is what I've heard. So I think that's being home court is always, an advantage. But obviously they have so much experience. They've won a lot. And a lot of veterans from last year's championship team. So I think their experience and just being at home is definitely something I'm sure they're um, you know gonna have and use. So yeah, they're gonna be tough, but I think we're ready. We're excited. We're going to really go after it and give our best.
Yeah, I'm excited to follow it, certainly. And again, anyone who's followed college tennis in recent years knows that your team is more than capable of going on the road and earning a victory in this round. So, certainly looking forward to seeing what you all have in store for us this weekend. UCLA women's tennis head coach Stella Sampras Webster, thank you as always for taking the time to chat. Good luck to you and the Bruins this weekend, and hopefully we will get the chance to see each other in Waco.
Thanks, Alex. Thank you.
Record